Welcome to the What a Work podcast. I'm your host, Paul, JCR Builds in the UK. Please don't forget, go and give us a like, a review, whatever you want to call it, on any of the audio platforms that you're listening on, whether it be Amazon, Spotify, wherever. Please leave me a review. There'll be a nice big worldwide giveaway. Want to get 500 reviews, so a few to go get. So, also, you can contact me on social media, either via JCR Builds page or the Wooden Work podcast page, with any questions, or indeed if you'd like to come on as a guest, or have a question for any of our guests in the past. So, that's housekeeping done. So, today we have a guest on. We have Baz from Real Simple Things. Hello?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Not
How
bad.
we doing?
All right. Could you just introduce yourself to those who do not know who you are?
Yeah, I'm Baz from Real Simple Things. I'm on most of the social medias. Is that what they call them now? Social media
So
world?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, that's it. All on the above, all under the same name. So yeah, basically, I started off just tinkering in the shed, a bit of woodworking. Was bought a scroll saw, and it's basically gone from there. Really, it's just become a scroll saw enthusiast.
Say, because you're one of the sort of the majority of your work is very much orientated around a scroll saw as your main tool, isn't it?
It used to be. I used to do a lot of reclaim work, like made out of pallets and stuff like that. That's where it originally started. Where I originally started from, but now it's all based around scroll saw and dremel work.
Yeah. So we've had quite a few people. I mean, like myself, well, I don't have a Dremel. I have one of those cheap, crappy ones that's not a Dremel. I mean, if Joe wants to send me one, I'll more than happily take one off their hands. But I have got some of the Dremel bits that Mark from Peachtree Crafting sent down to me a while ago.
Yeah.
So we've had him on the podcast in the past, and a good chat about the Dremels. But you're the first person, and to be honest, it's something I've never used either. Is a scroll saw.
Yeah.
And you're the first scroll saw guest that we've had on.
It was something I was a bit skeptical starting with, to be honest, because it was a bit like, I don't know, is it something I want to get into? But as soon as I started doing it, I kind of just got hooked. And I've just not stopped from there, really.
I mean, I don't know. It's just because of social media and sort of like the networking side. But it does seem to be that like the scroll saw side of woodworking is becoming quite popular. I'd say in the last year or so. I mean, there's a lot of people. I was saying a lot. I see quite a lot of some people doing like these big signs.
Yeah.
Like sort of like very intricate designs, like jigsaw puzzle type designs. I mean, quite often there's a few. There's like made by Mosaic. She's a good one, and House of Timber, whatever, Maddie, and super really, really. I mean, you wouldn't have thought they were done on the scroll saw. It's more the sort of a very intricate woodworking piece, isn't it? I've seen that another friend of mine, Richard Wyatt, he's been doing a lot with the scroll saw recently. He's moved from carving spoons. He used to do a lot of hand carving of nice coffee spoons and stuff, and he's moved on to the scroll saw. It seems to be quite appealing to everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be at the minute. It was one of them things that people were a bit dubious about, and there used to be a bit of a stigma over it. Do they class it as woodworking or crafting or what? But I think anything that involves wood is woodworking, isn't it? At the end of the day.
I mean, I suppose a scroll saw is very much like it's a tabletop saw, isn't it? Like they're not massive, are they? They are fairly compact, aren't they?
I mean, the one I've got is 21-inch top. It's a fair size. I mean, it takes quite a room up in my shed. But the cuts on it you can do. It's just
You get very tight, very
really intricate cut.
I think actually I used one back in when we did woodwork in school, which was 30 years ago. I think we did like a jigsaw or something because you can get like really because aren't the blades like super thin and delicate as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
or can be.
Yeah. Well, I bought a pack this morning. this afternoon. There's 12 blades in there.
Oh, right. So, I mean, what sort
You
of
can see how thick they are.
Well,
These
people
are
listening can't see, can they? 'Cause it's an audible channel.
yeah. These are they're probably about a mil wide, but the actual curve of them is point something. I couldn't really tell you because it's so thin. But yeah, you've got it's basically a tool that you have to let the tool do the work, because if you push too hard, the plate's just going to snap.
Well, I suppose because they're only a very thin piece of wire, aren't they? So it's just going to.
Yeah.
So, what sort of things do you generally like doing as a? Do you have a favourite sort of thing that you like making, or do you just do whatever, or do you just do commissions, or?
To be quite honest, like I said, I started off with just making the odd little picture up for myself, just to see how it was going, to see how I'd get on with it. But it's moved on to that. I make a lot of other YouTuber and Instagram users' logos now, and they're like their emblems or whatever they want to call them.
Yeah.
I seem to be doing quite a lot of them at the minute on football badges. So I've got 3 of them sitting in front of me at the minute. My shed looks like I've been robbed, but instead of taking anything, they've just put stuff in, so they can't actually move in here in a minute.
Yeah, I think most people with small workshops are sort of guilty of that. But I mean, because I've got, to be fair, my bench is empty at the minute, but I'm off from recovering from surgery. So to be honest, I'm not really doing. I think the only thing that's really on there is all the 3D filaments. So my workshops.
You're into you're into 3D printing, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of 3D. I've always done a lot of 3D printing anyway. It's always been one of those sort of hobbies that I like. I got into it basically just because I wanted to make tools that weren't available on the market.
Yeah.
I just did it for myself. It's only recently I've sort of moved into more of the market side of things. But yeah, I just love printing, and obviously I can't use my arm properly, but I can still 3D print and design at the minute. So
that's it.
I'm just using it as a way of trying to keep the boredom at bay, to be honest, more than anything. Yeah. Because what is it now? 5 weeks now of not being able to move my right arm. It's not a lot of fun.
What have you done to your arm?
It basically failed due to an old injury. So I've had basically 4 operations in one on my right arm just after Christmas. So I'm still not. So I had to redo. I've had my bicep tendon redone, collarbone and shoulder blade thing shaved off, and then I've had my ligaments reworked in my shoulder.
Did you have an accident? Was it an accident or?
Yeah, I had an accident 4 years ago, and this is just gone because they've not fixed the accident side, and the strain it's just gone. So it is what it is, isn't it? But so
sucks getting old, doesn't it?
Sorry,
sucks getting old, doesn't it?
Yeah, we just don't bounce as well anymore. But we did have a question for you already. It came in about 20 minutes ago. Yeah. Jason wants to know when you're getting on with the chair.
Yeah. I said he texted me yesterday actually, and I said if I get a chance, I'll be on it. But at the minute, I've got four commissions to do before the end of February, and So if I get a chance, then I will try and do something. But at the minute, it's a bit touch and go, I think.
Yeah. So for those that missed last week's or the week before episode, I can't quite remember. It was a challenge set by Jason at Little Garage Woodshop, and it's would you care for a chair? Basically, make a chair, refurb a chair, whatever. Great prizes. Go and check out Jason's page. But yeah, that was just a bit of a. Obviously, we all talk to each other as creators, so we all sort of like get the digs in there while we can. But yeah, to be fair, I've not had chance, and I'm not going to get a chance to do a chair this year, unfortunately, for him. I knew what the challenge was last year, so I've had more than enough opportunity.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, just with doing things and as things get in, yeah, the
time just flies by.
Yeah, and then surgery's happened, so I can't physically do it now. I'm not going to be able to do it. I've got everything for doing the chairs. I'm just not going to be able to physically do it. But, I literally knew about it as the challenge finished last year. So it's pretty poor showing on my side that I haven't done it. Never mind, it is what it is, isn't it? So, yeah, so you say you're doing a couple of, you're doing quite a lot of emblems and logos, and because that seems to be the very more, I was saying, a popular thing. Like you see some of the, quite often there's a lot of girls that seem to be doing scroll saw work at the minute. Certainly, what I seem to come across on social, and it seems to be them. It just seems to be because it's just sort of like they seem quite elegant, don't they? The signs rather than just look a bit different, isn't it? I mean, do you use like a variety of ones when you're doing them, or do you just do the board and paint it, or how do you go about doing the whole project type thing?
It depends on what I've been asked to make to what I use, but majority of the time it'll either be like laser ply or MDF, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just because it's so easy to colour.
Yeah.
As long as you get the right sealer, especially for the MDF. But the plywood's not so bad. It takes oil quite well.
So what sort of finishes are you actually using on your Sorry, I'm trying to get your page up, to be honest. I'm so not used to using two screens.
That's it.
Sort of thing. So what sort of finishes are you using on your?
I use. Yeah, it depends on if I'm painting it. Then obviously it's just a spray paint and then just the normal clear coat lacquer, just to protect it. Because a lot of them just go indoors anyway, so you don't really need to put too much on it, especially if you're using the gloss paint anyway.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the I'll just show you this quick. So it comes to something like that.
So that's like a two-toned.
Yeah.
A two-tone picture.
So so it's layered. It's got a layer in it.
Oh, I see. So you basically had a black piece at the back, and then you cut the shapes.
That backing was burnt. So I put flame to that, and then I've cut these, and then I've just covered it in a lemon oil.
Okay. So
I think the lemon oil gives it quite a nice little, like a dull matte finish.
Yeah. So you just you've built it up, haven't you, by doing the back and then just putting so it gives like a contrast with the cutouts of the shape.
To give the shape, like a 3D
shape of the face. Yeah. So how are you bringing out? Oh, I've just come across your Danger Mouse and penfold thing actually. That looks quite a Danger Mouse with a trusty penfold.
That's it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you've got the outline there. Then you've got all the pieces. So it's very much like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? But you're doing it as a layered 3D puzzle, aren't you? Almost.
That's it. So basically, what I'll do is I'll get the print out. I'll get a print out of whatever it is, and then I will lay that on, and then I'll carbon paper trace.
Yeah.
And then once I've done that, I've got it, and then I'll put it to the saw and I'll start cutting. And then it'll depend on what I want to. Sometimes I'll layer them, so you'll get 3 or 4 layers. So it'll be like layering up, so you'll get a nice 3D effect. Other times I'll just cut it all, but then what I'll do is I'll put the pieces back in, so it'll be all individual pieces, but it'll still be the same level.
Yeah. So it's fitting very much like a 2-dimensional jigsaw, then, isn't it? In that case. Yeah. So how are you bringing the Dremel into your projects? And are you, if you know what I mean, you do quite a lot of Dremel as well.
Yeah. So I use them just to shape the edges. So some of the stuff I leave as sharp, flat edges. Some they want them. I can't remember what they call it now. It's a certain word that they call it, but basically, so they round it off, so it gives it more of a softer 3D looking look.
Just
so yeah, I tend to so I just tend to do that on some of them, not on everything, because to be quite honest, it just some of them look better just straight and sharp cuts.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to lettering.
Yeah, because obviously it can give a bit more of a definition, doesn't it? Because obviously if it's going to be what you call it, rounded off, that's where you start losing clear lines, don't you? Because obviously thing. So how do you go about sort of like selling your items? Do you sort of like do you do it at local craft stores or that sort of thing, or do you go to?
No. I tried Etsy a couple of years back. Didn't get anything from it, so that was pointless. And then I tried doing the local, the marketplaces on Facebook and stuff like that. But people were interested until you tell them how much you actually want for it.
Yeah.
And then it's just tumbleweeds. So you give up with that. But now it's to be quite honest, I get most of my work through Instagram, and it's just people will see my post and just contact me. Really, I don't really chase it because obviously this ain't my full-time job. So
Yeah,
I only get the hour here and there. So.
Yeah. Well, see, that's it. I mean, it's the good old thing or the weird old thing that Instagram, it's very much business to business type platform as a type of rule. It's so the thing is, we sort of appreciate what goes into something as a business.
That's right.
So we sort of understand more how much something's going to cost. So if you said 100 quid for the site, just pulling a figure out of my head, say 100 quid, we're not going to shit our pants at that. Whereas
no, that's it.
Little John Smith down the road isn't saying,
well, the problem is that they've got that mentality, haven't they? Of it's handmade, so it must be cheap.
Yeah, well, again, it's the old thing of the internet and being able to buy anything. I mean, it's the same with tools. People will turn around to you and say, why did you spend £1,000 on a track saw? You can get one for 30 quid. Well, yeah, you can, but it's not the same quality.
No, well, this is like my scroll saw. I mean,
yeah,
my original one I started with was a £15 budget thing, a Wix thing from Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
but the one I've jumped up to now is the Axminster Trade, which is I think retailing now at about 850 quid. So. It's just good tools, but you don't need the big expensive ones to be able to do it because obviously a lot of the work I did do was on the cheaper one, but the bigger one just opens up the opportunities more for bigger stuff. So
just makes it easier as well, doesn't it? Because it is obviously, but it's the same thing when people will see, like, say, one of your signs for, I don't know, say that just go to the Danger Mouse sign. Oh, right, yeah, it's cool that. But when they don't want to pay for the time because they could probably go and buy something that will look the same in a picture off Temu or Banggood or one of these Chinese sites. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's the sort of thing where if you make a physical product, people turn around, well, I can get that for whatever. I mean, people come at me with some of my 3D stuff, and they're like, well, and they'll lowball me for an item on for 10 quid, say, and they'll lowball me for 4 quid for it, and like, you what? And they'll say to me, oh, but you've already got all the printer and all the stuff. I'm like, right. Yeah, but I've also designed all the files. I spent hours drawing it, printing it. Have you got a £1,000 printer? No. And then by the time you paid the postage, packaging, and everything else, like, so you want me to work for 10p an hour? No.
Yeah,
but you know what? They're like, well, yeah, but if you don't sell it to me for 4 quid, you're not going to get the sale. All right, bye.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is this: they seem to think that you're catering to their budget, but at the end of that, if it's what they want, they've got to expect that it's going to end up costing them a bit of money, isn't it?
Well, it should do. I mean, again, that comes back to the whole pricing scenario. I mean, it'll get people saying, "Oh, you're way too expensive." Just generally in anything, anything on the woodwork side or drawing, people will say, fit the kitchen, you're too expensive. Oh, well, Bob down the road will do it for 100 quid. All right, we'll get Bob to do it for 100 quid then. I'm not. Because
I had it. Go on, sorry.
Go on, I say, but you have the same thing, don't you? When you pay, I mean, say it's a bit harder as well because obviously you are a hobbyist. So when you got someone that's like yourself who is a hobbyist, is then pricing against someone like me that is my full-time job.
Yeah,
I've got all the overheads that you won't have. Type thing. Right. It's not always the case, but I'm saying potentially, and that's where you'll see on the Facebook groups, you'll get a lot of the Facebook groups, you'll get on, well, and they just say, oh, I can make this for whatever, make some money. You're like, it's not as easy as that. And yet, the same piece said that they want to pay $100 for or £100 for before, they now want to charge £100, but they don't even know how to use the saw. They haven't got the capabilities. They don't know the plan. Because it's not just as easy as going, so I want this now. I'm going to go and pick up a scroll saw from down the road, and I'm going to knock out one of those signs tomorrow. Not happening. There's a learning curve like everything, like anything, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's all trial by error, like everything is when it comes to this sort of thing. You know, you got to fail to realise how to use the saw. So, you know, it's not something that you go on.
You learn from your mistakes, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's face it, your fingers are pretty close to that blade that's moving pretty quick. So if you're not really paying much attention or you don't really know what's happening, then I'm not going to say you're going to lose your finger, because you're not. It's pretty hard to get a cut from them, but when they do cut, they do cut.
Oh, you can still
especially if you've got a fresh blade.
You can still make a mess of one of your tendons or something quite easily.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, this is it. You can, but like I say, it is quite hard to get cut by one unless you are really, really gunning, trying to push it through.
But again, that's only down to. I mean, it's the same with any accident that is over. Well, not any, but the majority of accidents are due to user error.
That's right.
Not pay. I mean, the most dangerous thing you can do, full stop, is not give your tools the respect they require.
Yeah,
the minute you take your eye off the ball, I mean, if you're forcing a piece of wood through a saw, well, it's gonna.
Well, your most dangerous tool is the one you use all the time, isn't it?
The most dangerous tool is yourself, 100%. Yeah. Because we just get that. You get that complacent. I mean, how I've got all 10 digits at the minute still, I've got no idea. I mean, I've taken little nicks off ends of most of my fingers, and I've had a few attempts over the years of trying to take fingers off. Don't get me wrong, I've been very close a few times. But every time I've had an accident, it could be when you're tired though, can't it, or whatever. I mean, you must get that. I mean, if you've been at work all day, doing your normal 9 to 5 call it, and you're trying to sneak a couple of hours in the evening, well, you're going to be tired at sometimes.
It does get, sometimes. You do sit there and you make a cut and you think, I should have done that because I've got to redo all that because I'm trying to rush it to get it out of the way and get done. And you just should have just stopped and just let it go. And get on with it the next day.
How long does a sort of a general size? I mean, I know it can vary on how long's a piece of string, but how long do you what's your sort of like your average sort of time you spend on per project, per sign type thing, would you say? I mean, obviously, I know if it's only A4 size, it'd be a lot quicker than if you
if it's only A4 size,
wide.
and
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I've got the biggest. Excuse me a minute. The biggest one I'm doing, or I have done, I've got in process now, which is just over a metre long. It's for UK Planet Tools. On the social media. That's taken up until now probably what do I get? About an hour and a half I get a night, and I've probably been up here 8 nights. So you look at what, 12 hours?
12 hours plus so far you're into it at least.
Yeah. But obviously that's been over the course of like nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's not been 8 days consecutively, but it's been it's been the case of over 2 weeks.
Would you say how many more hours would you say? Are you sort of like nearly done on it, or are you still?
Well, I was, but they've changed. They've changed a bit now, so they want a backing board with lights on it now. So it's going to be another, so another week or so. But I started football science.
But still 12 hours on a project. The thing is, again, sometimes though, the bigger projects can be easier, can't they? Because you're cutting bigger pieces, so the intricate things can take longer sometimes, can't they? Depending on what it is.
Oh, the intricate stuff. I've done I done 2 logos for the same person actually. Well, he ordered them, one for himself and one for his mate, and they were quite intricate. And the intricate cuts, because of the taking the blade out and having to reposition it and put in pilot holes, it does take quite a long time to do the intricate cuts, and the especially when there's a lot of pieces to them. So that can take a while, and then that can become time consuming, and you do tend to just switch off sometimes, and that's when mistakes can happen. But other than that, the average size one that I've been doing, I probably can get the cut down to 1 or 2 evenings, and then the rest of the time it's just sealing, sanding, and paint, waiting for paint to cure. Is the longest bit.
But even still, that you think 2 or 3 evenings plus the sanding and the painting, you're still best part of 10 hours in, though, aren't you? By the time, realistically, by the time you're done. So, but you see, people
I think on average. Go on, sorry.
So people probably would appreciate the fact of that. Just plucking out like an imaginary sign out of the sky is 10 hours for a basic, basic sign. 10 hours.
Yeah.
But someone's going to want to pay. But people probably only want to spend 20 quid on that, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? If you went to like the Facebook Marketplace or whatever, okay. Well, I'll work for £1.20 an hour, and take the materials. I'll give you the materials for your charge as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I always get my mate with the CNC machine can do it cheaper than that. Off you go then.
Okay, yeah. What it is,
above me. I'm a hobbyist. I don't need your money. I just,
See, that's the whole thing with the CNC. The CNC can cut it quick and that. Okay, it can.
Yeah.
But have you got the files ready to go, and have you got them into the vector files, and then have you changed the vector files into the toolpaths and got it all the tooling ready for the CNC?
Yeah.
There's a few hours work there alone, and that's if you know how to do the software. Obviously, a guy with CNC would know how to do the software. Don't get me wrong, but that's still time that he's paying for.
Yeah, but I don't know. It is one of them things, isn't it? You either make it on them sort of platforms or you don't. I think.
Yeah. So do you? See, you're mainly doing like signs and logos. Sorry, the chair's not very comfy, and it back's playing up at the minute as well. Well, it's a few toolboxes with a cushion on, basically. My
my chair went because I've got no room in here no more, so that got thrown out.
Yeah, no, mine's literally 3 of my toolboxes with a cushion on. So because I haven't got enough room to store all the toolboxes, so I use them as a seat when I'm at the editing PC. And everything's obviously cramped together as it is when we're working in such a small area. So how big's your work area that you're working in? Because you're working out of a garage, aren't you?
It's an old. It was a summer. It's a summer house that's been converted into a workshop.
All right. So yeah.
So yeah, it's 8 by 16 feet.
8 by 16,
so
2.5 by. So it's not a bad size, really, is it? That?
No, it's not too bad. It's not bad. But the problem is, my other side hustle is I'm a part-time gardener at weekends. So I've got all my gardening tools at one end, and all my woodwork is all throughout. So
it's also a shed as well as it's a shed workshop come whatever it can be.
Shithole.
You're mainly doing like your signs and what have you. Have you got sort of like any other plans to branch out and do anything a little bit different at all maybe this year, or are you just sticking with what you know almost?
At the minute, to be quite honest, I'm quite happy with what I'm doing at the minute. I'm enjoying it. I did toy with a lathe. I bought a lathe. It's under there somewhere.
All right.
I started making pens and I started making bowls and stuff, and I was enjoying that. But for some reason, that is more for fun. I was enjoying that more for fun and that. But this scroll saw and that, I just keep coming back to it, and people just seem to like what I'm doing. So I think I'll just stick with that. See where it takes me for a little while. I think.
Well, is it sort of a bit of the case of it's not broke, so don't fix it type thing?
Yeah, basically. I tried doing a bit of flat work, or what you call flat work, panel work and stuff, making the odd bit of furniture and that. But to be honest, it's my workshop's not geared up for that anymore. It's more geared up for scroll saw and sign making. So
I mean, that's if you enjoy it anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, because that's why we have such a variety within the woodworking. It's a very big umbrella. Like you said about lathe, it's one thing another tool I've never touched in my life is a lathe. And I had planned actually originally. It was on my to-do list in 2023. Was have a I was meant to be getting a couple of lessons off Kate, and it just never. We just never got round to sorting it out, unfortunately. It's one of those things that one thing and another, and you run out of time, don't you? Type thing.
Yeah.
It's
good. It's an expensive hobby. It really is expensive. It's to get into, but it's good fun. But no, it's I'll keep it at that. I mean, a bit of hobby, and because it can bite you pretty quick.
Yeah, well, we had
too much attention.
Probably pronounce his name wrong. We had Jubal on a few weeks ago. He was a American lad and he's moved to the UK. When did we have him on now? Well, I don't know, about 8 weeks ago. And he's a great, lovely guy chatting to. Very much a character. And he was a wood turner. And that's all he did was just turning, really. And he had a nasty bite just before Christmas with a lathe. And his hand was a mess. An absolute mess. But the thing is, who is it now? Is it Jeff? Is it Mark Designs or something? One of the big wood turners. And he puts crazy shit on his lathe. And it's like, like a tree stump, but like with roots everywhere. But the thing is, people, they get millions of views because people want to see that bit of wood spin off and twat them in the face. And, you've got a bit of spinning wood and you're going to shove a short thing into it. If you don't get that right, it's going to not end. And that's what.
I've shot one. I shot. What did I shoot? I was making a wand. I was making a wand out of a bit of elm, and I went in just to do the last final cleaning cut, and it went bang, and it disappeared. Like literally, I thought, wow, that was a good wand. It actually just disappeared, and then when I looked up, it was sticking out of my shed roof where it bust off, and so it was sticking, and this is what 12 mil. I mean, it's not that thick, but it's 12 mil OSB with like a felt liner, and it was sticking straight through the roof of the shed.
If that hit you in the face, that would have hurt. It would have stuck in the face. Do you know what I mean? That would have made that would have hurt.
It would have broke my shield.
Yeah,
for definite.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously why you've got to wear shields. But they're just one of those things that always scared me like shit. And I saw Kate do a little demo once, and you know what? It's like, it's still not that don't get complacent about a lathe or anything like that. But just watching Kate do it is like, girls and Kate's very talented.
They make it look so easy, don't they?
Yeah, and I was like, maybe it's not quite as scary as what I thought it was. It still scares me, like the thought of going onto it, you know what I mean, and sticking a sharp chisel into pieces, turning wood at whatever revs.
Yeah.
But it was just the way that, I think it was the way that she sort of like showed it and explained it. I was like, well, that's not actually as bad as I thought. I mean, I'm not saying if you put a tree trunk on there with roots everywhere, it's going to be, that's going to be batshit crazy shit. But there's loads of bits of like woodworking stuff that are really sort of, haven't tried.
Yeah.
I've been up since 1 a.m. again. Bloody shoulder pain wakes me up. So once I'm up, I'm up. So I've been awake since 1. So I'm already knackered. But yeah, because I've never. So I think I used a scroll saw back in woodworking school 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever used one as a joiner. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
it would be something that you would use.
As a professional career, I've never used one.
Yeah.
Never even dabbled with one. Same with a lathe. There's a few things that I don't know. So I mean, it's such a wide umbrella, isn't it? Woodworking.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's sort of reason why I actually quite enjoy these podcasts and learning about things, because there's so much difference,
Yeah.
you know, and you can learn these new skills, you know, and
That's
you can
it.
take something that I'd say it's almost like there's so many trades within woodworking, within itself. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a qualified joiner, so hypothetically, I'm qualified for all of it. Well, it's not the case.
Yeah.
I've not used half the tools. Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
I don't know how to use half the areas. But see, that's where, like, you know, when you can do things, you can bring all the trades together,
That's it.
and a bit from different people. You know, bits from the lathe, a bit from the scroll saw, and you can bring all these elements together. You can make quite a unique project, can't you? Out of,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
do you know what I mean? You can totally transform what you can do, and I just find it really interesting learning about how other people do things as well. I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting part of the woodworking thing.
That's right. Well, yeah. Well, it does make it, and it gives you something else to maybe look into and give you a bit of a different perspective on how you want to finish something. Because, like you say, somebody could make a toy box up and think, oh, hold on, I could get something intricate made from someone and cut out and put on it, and it
We
takes it
do.
up to the next level.
You learn things all the time. I mean, I've said it numerous times. I've had young lads on the site when they're working, and like, what the fuck are you doing? But they still get the same. They're doing the same job as what I'd do, but in a totally different way. Because the thing is, they're brought up with tools that we never even had back in day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they have a different. They're taught differently, and they have a different outlook on it. I mean, it doesn't. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as you say. So
Yeah.
I never mind. I don't care how the lads get there, as long as the end product's right. That's all that matters, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely.
but as you say, it's just one of those things where I bring something in. Oh, how can I incorporate that into my project? And the amount of stuff I've learned from trying other things. I mean, I've got a crappy Dremel, and I've used that for a few things now. You know, maybe not a lot, but like I can use.
Yeah.
There's all different ways you can use. I mean, I can use the 3D printer for making inlays because I can, and copy things and all sorts. It's all just about, you know, it's like I was speaking to, you know, a few lads recently with doing a lot with like laser cutters and stuff like that. They're like the new phase of getting very popular now, thanks to X Tool. They're bringing like a new wave of people into it, which makes it harder though as well, because we're competing about so many people that have got.
That's it.
I mean, it's anyone can go and buy a 3D printer I've got off the shelf, not a problem. Do you know what I mean? But they haven't got all the other knowledge that I've got to go with it. But they're still influencing the market for us and making it harder, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Because people could quite easily.
Go on, sorry.
I was like, people could very easily laser cut the sign, couldn't they? Hypothetically.
Yeah.
But
this is it. That's what I was about to say to you next. Was the thing is, it's like you see all these laser cutters and the CNC machines. Well, they're all competitors for myself with sign making, because they once they've programmed it in, as that they can move on to the next project, so they can make another project or finish one that they've already cut, whilst that next one's being cut. Well, obviously, I can't do that. It's literally what's on the saw at the time, and that is it. I can only concentrate on that one because obviously with the size of the shed as well. Once I go to paint stage, I can't really cut another thing until the paint stage is completed, because otherwise it's smothered in dust and crap. So
which that's the problem with technology as well, because technology obviously is bringing. It's not that these CNCs have been around for a long time. So 3D printers have been around for 30 years. They just weren't affordable to the general person. Now they are. So anyone can go and buy. I mean, you can buy an Ender 3 printer for £100 and start printing. It's going to be crap quality, and you break up, and you have to learn. You'll learn a lot. It's a good process to go through. But I mean, you could never. I mean, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or 30 years ago when it started, you had to be rich, like super rich, to have a 3D printer. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much any person in the world can go out and buy a 3D printer can afford one, a basic one.
Yeah.
Same with the CNCs. The high quality CNCs aren't that expensive. In the, 1,500 quid will get you a good one.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is
I'm
it.
only talking like a small bed size, not like a big commercial one. I mean, I've actually
There's
got a
lasers now as well, aren't there? The lasers, you get them there, the little peckers or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Not that big, they sit on a tripod.
Yeah. And
they're only a couple of
quid.
They do some good work.
Yeah. I mean, it's. But unfortunately, I think that's what we've got to hope that the person still wants the handmade aspect.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
you can tell from the finish though, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. To be quite honest, though, it's like a lad at work was saying, "What are you going to do when people stop asking for things?" I said, "Carry on," because I didn't start this to become a business and make money out of it. I started it because it was something that I wanted to do, and I enjoyed doing it. And then other people enjoyed doing it, and they asked me if I could make certain things, and I did. And then obviously, as it goes, I mean, there's only so many you can do for a little while for free before your funds start to go, and you think, oh, well, maybe I'll ask for a couple of quid here, a couple of quid there. And then it's got to the point now where I am charging for them because it takes my time up now, because obviously, like I say, I do a 40-hour week. So
I think that's how a lot
any
of people
time away from my girls, time that I would like to. Well, I wouldn't ideally want to be up here every night, but sometimes you do because you have to.
Yeah, but see,
especially the way the world is now.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of people got started anyway, isn't it? Is how they start tinkering around, and as they progress, they sort of start doing it for a few quid here and there, just to literally pay for the materials or the next saw, or just to get it's a self-funding hobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's only after that when you sort of realise.
By the time I break everything down here, I probably get I probably earn about 40p an hour if I was to work it out per hour. By the time products and everything have come out, yeah.
But the thing is, if you're doing it as a business,
that's it.
That's where, then again, the price is whatever. Say you're charging 10 quid now, just for example, you're having to charge 40 quid because you then you've got to make that money, and then there's all the other hidden things you can't see.
That's it.
I mean, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Cool. So, again, everyone, please don't forget to go leave us a review on the platform that you're listening on. Please also go to Real Simple Things on Instagram. Link will be in the description. And give him a follow, please. Of course, if you want any of his items, you can contact him via the messenger to discuss whatever you want via private message. And it is what it is. Thanks very much for coming on today, Baz. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, and you, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. All right, everyone.
My first ever podcast, so there we go.
Yeah. Well, it's I think actually this might be episode number 52, which makes us 1 year old.
Oh, well, there you go.
Happy
birthday.
I'm pretty sure. I'll have to check. I'm sure this is episode number 52, which will make us.
Thanks for having me on
there. a year old. Wow.
Yeah.
I've been slogging at this for a year, every week for a year. Now, everyone, that's got to deserve a review. I've turned up every single week.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
All right, everybody. Again, please go check out the social media links in the description down below. And we'll catch you again next week. Cheers.